Hey y'all, welcome back to OTCC TV with your girl Shima. We are going to do our top-down analysis that we have now turned into a weekly ritual where we do our top-down analysis from the monthly, the weekly to the daily. First of all, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you also see in the charts. Let me know if there's any other videos you would like for me to do. Also, huge it's like every time I do a video now, I have to thank you all for helping us cross 2,500 views. We have now crossed the 2,500 mark of views. Thank you all so very much. It's been an awesome, amazing journey thus far with you all with these different technical analysis videos. So looking forward to, moving forward and growing. What do we see on the monthly? Our monthly candle looks extremely bullish. I would like to say that. So yes, price pushed into this demand zone. That is some wicks down there. It's a couple candles. When we drill a little bit further, you'll be able to see that. But I want to point out this area of this support. That's where price had failed to, and then we actually pushed out of. There's also, when we drill deeper, a trend line that price was following as it was falling this entire time. And price crossed it on Friday, and then boom, we shot up. Looking at this again from this bird's eye view on this monthly, we see price hasn't actually crossed the prior month's candle. The body of the candle looks like it sits around 1940, but price pushed all the way to about 1932, I believe it was, on Friday, but we closed here at 1928. Not that far off from some more upside, but nevertheless, we would have to see how price opens up. But from just looking at this right here, price is very bullish, as we can see, but however, again, it hasn't broken the prior month's candle. So that's something we need to pay attention to as we go into next week. Also looking here on this monthly, as you can see here, this was a pennant that price had created right here that we had broken out of. Yeah, those lines are so squiggly, you guys. But we broke out of that, and it looks as if it could have been, from this monthly angle, it looks like it could have been a false break, just because we see that price broke it here, right? Price broke down all the way here to this support, and now we're pushing past it again. Okay, so that's something we want to keep in mind. Also, moving into the rest of this month, actually, I want to keep an eye on that to see if price is actually going to, if that's like a full reversal in a sense from that area, and then shooting above this pennant, because that could have been a false break. I know that was one thing I had mentioned before when we did break it. I was unsure if it was actually a true break or a false break, and it's kind of looking now like it could be a false break. But hey, we don't know until price shows us, right? We have 16 days until this monthly candle closes. So let's see if we get any retracement first, or again, if we could see more upside and cross this 1940 zone. Now let's drill down to the weekly, see what else we see in the chart. Yeah, see my little bars down there. We was trading this chart, okay? But again, as we saw on the monthly, price pushed down into this demand zone. We pushed out of it. That's also the bottom of this parallel channel. Price hit the bottom of this parallel channel. I don't want to erase some of those trend lines yet, because I want to show you something on the daily. But we have those blue lines. That's our parallel channel. That price, this right here, that price actually fell down to here, and then we're now sitting right at the top of that top line of the parallel channel. So that's interesting to see, actually looking closer right now. Right here is where price has stopped, and it's right at that top line of the parallel channel. So that's very, very interesting to see. On the weekly here, as we can see too, price is extremely bearish as we've crossed the prior week's candle, or prior 2 weeks rather, because our last week was down here, 1947. And then price has shot past 2 weeks of the bodies of candles. where our last week the body was, or excuse me, 2 weeks ago the body was 1924, and now we closed at 1928. So we have crossed both of those candles, which is amazing to see how gold pushed so hard to reach this level. But again, it stopped literally right at this parallel channel, the top line of this parallel channel. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how price opens next week. Let's go ahead and drill down to the daily, because I'm going to show you some things that I noticed in the chart. Now here on the daily, this is where I want to show you where this trend line that we crossed, this red line here, this was a trend line. So we were falling down since, what day was this? This is pretty much September 22nd to September 25th, I'll say. We've been in that downtrend since then, right? And as you see here, these candles start to get very small down here, right? Those are sometimes reversal signals, right? When price seems to be slowing down, it's like it was curving around, right? Not to mention also that we were in this demand zone, right? So price gave a nice reversal here. Last Friday, we broke that trend line here on that red line that we marked out. We broke that trend line out of this demand zone. But as everyone know, it left this gap when the market opened the next week. A lot of traders were waiting on that gap to fill. I was able to draw a few trend lines. As you can see, these green lines, I was able to draw the trend line to see price follow it. It broke it just a little bit during CPI, which made a lot of traders believe that the price was going to fall back to fill this gap, but it just didn't fill it. It just didn't fill it. And I learned from trading gold back in March, there was a gap that was left around 1870 or so, and it didn't fill until September. So that was like, what, 6 months that it took to fill. So not saying that this will take that long. My point of that is that gaps don't always fill instantly. That's all that I'm saying that to say for it. But whatever the case, gold decided to do its own thing. It crossed. It also crossed the midway of the parallel channel. That was another thing that where we have this support here. It crossed above that midway line of the parallel channel. And then, I mean, it was just off to the races. That Friday's bullish push was just out of this world. I didn't even expect it really to go that far, but it did. And now we have closed again in a very, very bullish sentiment. I personally, we're at the top of this parallel channel. I would like to see some pullback. Let's get let's get some demand in here. So this is technically an area. I said demand, I meant supply. This is technically an area of supply. And then there's one right next to it as well. So it's a few levels that price would need to break through to see further upside. Whatever the case may be, it is in a supply zone right now and just beneath the supply zone. So price would have to do another one of these, just power through, right, to get through all of that, in my opinion. So let's see what levels we can look at to see ideally where price could go. So I do see here we could have a pullback to about 1905. That would be the top of this pennant as well. So we could see a pullback to there. Again, if price wants to pull back a little bit before taking off more. Also, of course, if we open up above 1928, we want to be mindful right here of 1933. We would need to cross that. And then, of course, this 1947 to see further upside. To see downside, we want to pull back beneath this 1919 area. And then again, as I said, we could potentially see this 1905. If it want to go any further, we could see 1885. and then back down here to 1871. So a few levels to play off of this bar. I personally will just wait on price action to just kind of reset, because right now this is a major push up. I'm personally not looking for a specific trade just yet. I need price to settle first, because it did a major run. It just did a major run and it knocked out a lot of levels. So now we need to be mindful of, you know, where price could potentially want to go. If it wants to push up more again past this 1947, I would be considering more upside. But again, I just want to see if price needs to retreat first, right? Do some pullback and then maybe push up, or, you know, do some pullback and just fall back down, potentially fill this gap. Not sure how this is planned, but again, we just want to be mindful. Price has reached to the top of this parallel channel. So price could retrace back, or we could just break through it. So again, I'm personally just waiting on price action to tell me what it's going to do. I'll be looking at the economic calendar as well to see what news we have this week that could potentially fluctuate this gold. Also, don't forget the war that's going on as well, Palestine and Israel. So we want to be mindful all these outside ordeals that is currently happening in our world that is also contributing to the charts moving like this. So that's what I got for y'all. Stay focused, stay determined. You know, I love and appreciate y'all. And y'all, what we gonna do when price tells us what to do? What we gonna do? Keep trading. All right. Y'all have a great one. Peace.